Imagine this. You're standing in front of a woman you want. She's attractive, sharp, confident, the kind of woman who doesn't give much away. She looks at you politely. She smiles, but you can feel it. She's already slipping away. She's present, but not engaged. Interested enough to be polite, detached enough to walk away at any second. And in that moment, most men panic. They think they need to say more, do more, prove more. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine you don't need a model's face. You don't need status. You don't need the perfect Instagram life. You don't even need the right line. You say just two words that change the entire dynamic. You say them calmly without smiling, without explaining, and suddenly her eyes hesitate. Something shifts. You didn't impress her. You didn't chase her. You didn't ask for anything. You simply stated what 99% of men are too afraid to even think. In this video, you're going to understand why those two words can instantly create tension with almost any woman, not through manipulation, not through tricks, but by activating a deep psychological trigger most men never touch. And if you stay until the end, you'll never see attraction the same way again. Because you'll realize something important. It's not what you say that changes everything. It's the state you're in when you say it. Most men fail with women for the wrong reason. Not because they're unattractive, not because they're broke, not because they're awkward. They fail because they've been conditioned to seduce like beggars. They seek approval. They try to be chosen. They want to please. They believe attraction comes from saying what she wants to hear, being nice, being funny, being attentive. But that strategy doesn't work. Worse, it repels. Because deep down, a woman isn't looking for a man who tries to seduce her. She's looking for a man who knows why he's there. Attraction is not a performance. It's psychological tension, and you cannot create tension. If you're constantly asking yourself, does she like me? The moment you want to be chosen, you lose power. The moment you try to convince her, you're already behind. Real attraction begins when you step outside the game. When you look at a woman and want nothing from her except the truth of the moment. No mask, no strategy, no agenda, just presence. And this is where the two words come in. Most men speak the same language. What do? You're beautiful. Do you want to get a drink? Weak words, waiting words, words that place the woman above them. And she feels it instantly. She feels the hierarchy. She feels the expectation. She feels the need. And she thinks another one. A rare man does something very different. He enters the space. He observes her posture, her social smile, her controlled gestures. He doesn't rush to fill the silence. He lets the quiet stretch. And when he finally speaks, he says only this, I know. He doesn't say what he knows. And that's exactly why it works. Because in that moment, something unsettling happens inside her that I know can mean anything. I know you're bored. I know you're guarded. I know there's more behind that smile. I know you're pretending to be fine. She fills in the blank herself, and because there's a sharp break from the usual noise, her attention locks in. This is no longer a social exchange. It's a subtle confrontation. And confrontation, not compliments, is what creates desire. Not because she feels flattered, but because she feels seen. And being seen is far more intense than being admired. That tension is the secret. Not humor, not looks, not status. The ability to see clearly and not explain. That's what most men don't have. They want outcomes. He already knows. And she feels that difference immediately. I know. No smile, no justification, no follow-up. A man who says that isn't trying to take her. He isn't trying to impress her. He's already centered. And that is deeply unsettling and deeply attractive. Now, here's what actually happens in her mind, because this is where most men misunderstand the reaction. When a woman hears, I know, said slowly, calmly, in silence, her mind accelerates. Not because you're mysterious, not because you're playing a role, but because you've created a vacuum, and the human brain hates empty space, especially when that space is charged with tension. That simple phrase triggers something primitive. She starts interpreting, projecting, questioning. What does he know? Is he talking about me? Did he notice something? This is no longer conversation, it's emotional activation. Every woman carries an internal chaos she keeps hidden. Doubts, contradictions, old wounds, roles she plays to survive socially. In a world where almost every man follows the script, a man who seems to see past it hits a nerve. Not because he flatters her, but because he recognizes her. And recognition is confronting. To be seen is to be exposed to your own truth. That's why the reaction is both magnetic and frightening. She feels you don't need her. You're not chasing validation. You're not trying to win. You're simply present. She may laugh, deflect, change the subject, but internally, something opens. A crack, curiosity, vulnerability, tension. You didn't seduce her with words. You created resonance. Now something important happens. She starts saying what you didn't. She fills the silence. She explains. She opens up. Not because of your strategy, but because of your stillness. And that voluntary opening is the real connection. Not forced, not extracted, chosen. That's why it's powerful, because it's not triggered by need. It's triggered by awareness. Most men don't understand this. Women live in a world of appearances and encountering. A man who doesn't play along feels like standing in front of a mirror without makeup. Uncomfortable, disturbing, irresistible. That's what she experiences when you say, I know. And that's also why it doesn't work if you say it to get something. If you wait for a reaction, if you hope to impress her. It only works if you genuinely see if you're already whole without her. In the next video, I'll show you how to embody this state. So, those two words aren't a trick, but a natural expression of who you are. So, if you want to go deeper into this kind of subtle psychological dynamic, subscribe to the channel. We don't sell magic lines here. We explore what unsettles, what transforms, and what actually creates attraction. See you soon.